Hey everyone, how are you doing? Wanted to touch base a little bit on an issue. So I did a video the other day, and I wanted to follow up on some of the things that I said in that video. I don't know if you saw it. It was about how transition hasn't solved all of my problems. I put a link to it somewhere. I don't know how to do it yet, but I'm sure I could figure it out. There's two things I want to talk about today, and the first one, as you probably guessed from the title, is this idea that being transgender is not a choice. Okay, I massively believe this. There's this huge misconception around trans people, and I get it a lot of comments myself, like, yeah, but you've got a male body, you've lived in a male role. It's like, hang on a minute, sorry. First off, my body is my body, and I'm a woman. This is my body. It's a woman's body. I was forced, really, by society and some pressures I'll come on to in a minute, to live in that role. And I'm transitioning quite a bit later in life. And so naturally people question, well, why now? Why suddenly? And I think a lot of it is that in reality, it took me a long time to understand, to have the vocabulary to explain and to express who I am. And there's definitely fear as well. You know, there's some fear. It's like, well, hang on a minute. Is this normal? Am I going to be outcast? Are people going to, not like me anymore? Well, at all. They didn't really like me to start with, but that's irrelevant. And then there's sort of just the time that it takes, or it's taken me, to be brave enough to say, actually, you know what, world, this is just who I am. You know, being trans is really, for me, it's never been a choice, but choosing to transition, that is more of a choice. Or indeed, the way that I've chosen to transition is a choice. I mean, if you're really, really stuck, and you're thinking of all of the things that you've perhaps gone through. I know I've been through some really difficult times of late. The big question I find myself asking really is, why on earth, if being trans was a choice, why would anyone choose to put themselves through this? This is not, it's not a, I'm just going to wear makeup and pretty dresses, problem solved situation. But yeah, I mean, I just want to clear that up. Being transgender is not a choice. End of topic. But how one chooses to transition, if one chooses to transition, and how they choose to approach that transition, you do have a choice in that. The thing that I've become concerned about recently is there is this narrative at the moment. I think it's been there for quite some time. In fact, it was there when I was, very, very early on in sort of my gender issues, my gender identity issues. There's the narrative that, oh, just get on HRT and it will change your life. All of a sudden you'll be this perfect woman and everything will be great and you'll look brilliant. No. Just no, okay? HRT doesn't make me a woman. Okay, it's helping with, my mental state. My biochemistry does not match up with my identity, and that is very, very difficult. I spoke about that the other day. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that now. Does HRT help me pass? Horrible phrase, pass? No, I don't think so. I mean, being realistic, how I dress, talk, walk, behave, act, my hair, my awful makeup today. They are the things that sort of give much more in terms of a changed presentation than 9 months, give or take, now, of hormones. There are some definite, subtle physical changes, but they are subtle. I don't think they've made a huge difference, if I'm honest. And I guess what I'm sort of getting at is that don't panic that I can't go and change, I can't transition, I can't start a social transition until I've started HRT, because it's total rubbish. It's just nonsense. There's no reason. I mean, you know, like I say, look, this is me. Hi, 9 months nearly down the line with HRT, and you know, I don't really think that it's making a huge difference to how I pass. If I'm honest, it's helping me internally. That is undeniable. It's massively helped with the conflict and dysphoria inside me. But would it stop? If I hadn't had it, would I still have been at this sort of point? Yeah, I don't think it's made much difference in terms of my social transition. Maybe a bit of a confidence boost. And that's fine. If it does give you that confidence boost, or you think it's going to give you that confidence boost, then great. Okay, fine, go for it. But please don't hang your entire life on whether or not you can get a prescription and how quickly you can get it, because there's so much more to life than biology. So much more to each of us as individuals than our actual biology. I think if I had to sum it up, and I want to a little bit, is that HRT has helped me like any other medication helps with a condition. And I know being trans is not a condition, but it's helped me like any other medication would. But the changes, the positive changes that I've made, I have made those in my life for myself. You know, they're decisions that I've taken. I need to clear this up. There's a lot of people that are really stressed, and myself included. I'm still really, really stressed, to be honest, about the ridiculous wait times for GIC. You know, 2 years plus is pretty much standard. I think I twigged quite early on when I saw this distant date, this thing off in the future. I thought, oh my God, I can't wait that long. And it's occurred to me over time that really, one doesn't have to if you don't want to. You know, there's no reason that you can't. Well, there might be. You might have specific reasons I don't know about, but there's nothing stopping you from changing your name before you see the GIC, outwardly changing your presentation to fall in line with your identity. Basically, apart from the sort of the final sort of medical bit, you know, the hormones, the surgery, there's nothing stopping you from being you. That a visit to the HRC, to the GIC can change. You can do this. It's in your hands. It's in, you know, your capacity and capability. It's not just down to medication and surgery. In fact, if it was just down to medication and surgery, and in fact, if you thought it was just down to medication and surgery, then really is all we're really saying that the difference between male and female is basically just hormones and genitals, because that doesn't really sit right with me. Anyway, I think it's important, guys, that with all of these things that, you know, this is just my opinion. You know, yeah, sure, getting on with an early social transition might be good for you. Then again, waiting for HRT might be better for you. Some things might work, some things might not. Pills, potions, whatever, may not solve any of the issues of your transition. You might end up taking estrogen and thinking, oh my God, I feel worse. You know, it can happen, and I know people, it's happened too. But, all that being said, it might be perfect for you, yeah? You've got to make your own path here. What works for you is going to be different to what works for me, to what works for the next person. And none of it matters. All that matters is that you find your own path, and what works for you is what you do. I suppose there isn't really a right way or a wrong way, or there's no correct way or incorrect way or any variation on that to transition, to be yourself, because that's what this is about. This isn't about changing from one socially accepted norm to another socially accepted norm or a variation on those themes. This is just about you, me, any of us, just being honest with the world and honest with ourselves about who we are. You know, that's what's the most important. how you choose to embody that, how you choose to manifest that, whether you choose medication, whether you choose surgery, whether you choose to never really actually make a full or even partial social transition. If you just want to have that state of mind and live like that, that's cool. That's fine, because you know what? That's you. And you're what's important. The rest of it is just a narrative, right? Don't play to it. Guys, thanks so much. I'm sorry, I know I tend to go off on rants and I ramble, but I think some of these things have taken me a lot of time and a lot of energy to sort of understand for myself. And again, at risk of sort of playing to a narrative, the last thing I want to do is say, hey, I'm right, you should all listen to me, because this is 100% just the way I feel, the way I think about it, the way I see it at the moment, from my, for want of a better word, experiences. You know, it really is, guys, just about finding what is going to work for you. But if anything I'm saying helps at all, then cool. That would be nice. Right, I think that is pretty much this rant over and done with for today. So I hope you all have a lovely day, week. Again, I don't really know how to sign off from these videos. You know what? I'm going to stick with it. Peace, love, respect, and bye.